Greetings to Hi Abba viewers. We have been learning English, and so far we have learnt how to change an active voice into passive voice, and all those things we have learnt. Now in the voice, I mean in the active voice and passive voice, there is one very important element we have to learn. What is that? I will start with an example. Now consider this sentence. Now consider this sentence. The police caught the thief. So we know what tense it is. It is in simple past tense. The police is subject, caught is verb, the thief is object. Now if we change this is in active voice, simple past tense. If we change this sentence into passive voice, how that will become? We will write the answer now. The thief was caught, then the police will become object by the police. Now here take this object here, forget about this sentence. Now the sentence has been changed into passive. Now take this object as itself. The thief was caught by the police. Now if you remove this object, will the sentence get meaning? The thief was caught. Here the police is not necessary. Hope you understand. Which means the thief was caught, when I say, automatically it is understood that the thief must have been caught by the police only. Not any walker on the road can catch or arrest a thief. So sometimes in certain sentences the object becomes unnecessary. Not necessarily should be written there. Not necessarily that has to be written there. So those objects can be omitted, because this sentence itself will get the meaning, will give the meaning that object becomes unnecessary. Therefore that object is omitted. That is called object omission or agent omission. So now let me say that in principle, what is agent omission? In certain sentences the object is unnecessary or need not be written there, that can be omitted. So if you omit that object, the rest of the sentence itself will give meaning, and that itself will be profound for us to understand. So that way, that kind of omitting the object is called agent omission. Now that is one thing. Now if that is the case, what is called agent creation? The same sentence can be used for it. Listen now. For instance, this sentence itself is there, let us say, which means forget about this sentence. The same sentence is there. Sometimes in exams they will ask this type of questions. Now this sentence is given, the thief was caught. Now this is in passive voice, we know. Write the active voice. So we have blindly learned, usually the passive voice will start with the subject, there will be form verb and other verbs, and it will end with by the object. That's how a sentence, passive voice sentence is formulated. That's how we have understood. But look at this sentence, there is no object there. So this type of questions typically asked in exams. So what we are supposed to do here? Now the thief was caught, meaning is what? The thief was caught must have been indulging in a burglary or when you say theft. So who must have caught the thief? So we have to create an object there. So who must have caught? This is in simple past tense. How we will write? For instance, here, people must have caught. Here again, if it is were arrested, then we are sure police only must have arrested. Here we have this sentence. So, the thief was caught. Change this sentence into active voice means there is no object. We will have to assume a subject. We will have to create a subject, either people or police. So, how you will write here? People caught the thief. This is also correct, or else we can write police. Police caught the thief. So now understand, in a passive voice, if there is no object, we will have to assume, we will have to create an object, and that thing is called agent creation or object creation. So now what is an object creation? In a passive voice sentence, if there is no object, we will have to assume an object there, and that object will become subject in an active voice. That thing is called agent creation. Hope you distinctively understand what is agent creation and agent omission. Now, this is in principle. In our day-to-day communication, how this is actually used. This is what primarily you will have to understand. I am going to explain that now. In most of the conversations, passive voice is much used actually. Some actually people are actually well educated actually who have command over language. They use this passive voice in their day-to-day conversation because that beautifies the language. For instance, consider this sentence. We were not allowed. This is a simple passive voice, but there is no object. Now, who will use this sentence? For instance, students, they may say, we were not allowed to go outside the class. Otherwise, somebody is going to a park, they were not allowed. So, there in this type of things, we have no necessity to use an object. We were not allowed to speak by the teacher, not necessary. So, we went to the park, we were not allowed by the watchman or somebody, not necessarily. So, I was told that it's a day off. So now somebody, if you have not gone to your office, somebody is asking you, why didn't you go to office? So I was told that it is a day off means today is leave. So who told you? Not necessary. The message is that is a day off and you were told. That is very important. Not necessarily who the person conveyed that message. It is not necessary. So this type of passive voices are actually very much used in day-to-day conversation. That's why passive voice is very, very important. We'll also see some other examples. For instance, a grown man, now let's say he speaks good English. How come actually you are speaking good English? He may say, we were taught English when we were doing schooling. Now we will write that example. We were taught English well in our school. So now, in order to say this sentence for that person, he need not necessarily remember the name of the teacher. He must have been a kid. Who was his English teacher? He must have forgotten. Now, again the person who listens to this one also, that teacher is immaterial, but the person is important because he has learnt English. Now, in the conversation, this person, the other person who is listening to, they are important. The person who taught English, he becomes actually immaterial. So, therefore, we will understand from this sentence, which means by a teacher actually, by that which teacher need not know that. So here the person, one who speaks good English, he matters, he is important. So like that, my dear friends, this learning this passive voice is very, very important to have a wonderful communication. That's why we are dealing all these tense and voices, because they are all very fundamental for English communication, because they are all fundamental to English itself. So therefore, we have learnt so far what is a passive voice. There are also other things like, we have dealt actually so far statement positive. There is also going to be statement negative. Then there are also going to be interrogative positive. Then yes or no type is also there. Then for that also positive negative is there. Then again interrogative sentence, WH question is there. Again for that positive and negative. There are so many things like that. Since we have learnt all the formulas for ourselves and we are thorough with that, I would like to skip that. Maybe in the coming class, I may give some more examples on passive voice, but then with that we will close now. Which means I hope that you have learnt it so well and you are clear with that. So thanks for watching Hi Abba TV. Continue to watch and practice on that. Practice on what you are learning. Then only it will be handy for you, it will be helpful to you. So thanks for watching. Continue to watch Hi Abba TV. Good luck.